effort that is geared towards ensuring their safety, any effort that is geared towards ensuring the end to this insurgency or bringing it down to the barest minimum is quite welcome. And I heard the defense minister saying in that report that a friend of a thief is always a thief, meaning that anyone who supports them in any form, either by, inciting them or by even giving them information and exposing the communities to, all these insurgents will also be dealt with as much as the insurgents are dealt with. So we just hope that this effort is sustained and then we start seeing results, because it looks as if there's a new wave of this attack on our military personnel.
Right. I think that even when he was the Minister of Defense, before his elevation to ministerial post, it's something that he has usually said, and he has always told his men that it's unwise for you to see an attacker before you and you're waiting for an instruction before you go ahead and attack. And the point that you said that the military, the non-state actors, they probably do not realize the significance of the military men in our communities and in our state. I think that they actually do realize, which is why the fight is even about and against them. But yesterday, the Minister of Defense, retired General Christopher Musa, he said something profound that I think that we'll beg to differ with, or I will beg to differ with, that the government is winning much more than we are losing. And he says that terrorists are sustaining heavier losses than government troops in the ongoing operations across the country. Well, maybe we can understand, but I think that our military matter much more to us than any non-state actor who is losing their life. So if we have lost 10 people, 10 military officers, and then they've lost 1,000,001, it's not really, a conversation to have. What I want to see is a total end to this. If anyone loses their life, let it be that it was circumstances that we could not handle. As he said, it's so nauseating, so unbelievable and frightening to see that someone who ended the life of a major general like Uba last year, for example, is a terrorist, is a bandit. You can imagine how many more.
It's sickening, to say the least.
Exactly. That's the word right there.
And then you also imagine the problem the families face when they lose those loved ones, the trauma. You can't even equate it, you can't quantify the level of that loss to the family members of the community and to Nigeria in particular, because these people are people who have voted to protect us. They are people who have, given their life to service to humanity. So that was why I was also happy when the news broke that the president has also approved, an increase to their welfare package and all of that. At least when you are in the theater of war out there, you are happy that the country, the president in particular, recognizes, yes, it's a great morale booster, really. So you give in your all, because when you give in your all, even in normal service, not even that space where you say you're fighting enemies of Nigeria, you do something for your company, for instance, and you are rewarded, and you are recognized, and your welfare package is increased. It kind of gives you the mind to keep working and believing that, okay, the people you are working for actually recognize how much effort you're putting, let alone when you have given your life to the country, to the service. Many of these military men and officers, they don't get to see their families for years, for months, because probably they've been posted to, the theater of war where they have to go after insurgents. So any effort by the defense minister, by, the military service chiefs to ensure the safety of our officers is quite welcome. And insurgents hear it from the defense minister, your time is up, so you better start giving up, because they will come after you and after those who are also supporting them. All right, we'll end it here and bring you our social intervention segment on Kakaaki, the African Voice.
Get Fit in 60 Seconds with Dolly Phillips. Now, everyone has 60 seconds in every day to spare. So if you're ready, let's go! Hey, who's about to work? 8, 7, 6, almost there. 5, 4, 3, 2, time. Woo! That was awesome. Well done. Well done. I hope you had a great workout. Anyway, what I need you to do is to follow us on Instagram at Alpha Fitness Studios and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Alpha Fitness Studios, for free workout videos, free dance videos, sales and promos, and make sure you join us at the gym, Alpha Fitness Studios in Lekki Phase 1 next time you're in Lagos. So until the next time, bye-bye.
Hello, great people of Nigeria.
Have you ever wondered why your student has a crush on you? Most times, it is your fault as a teacher. If you pass unnecessary compliments on your student, such as you look sexy, gorgeous, beautiful, or hey, my small wife or my small husband. Dear teacher, if you say such words and much more to students of the opposite sex, please stop it, because the student can become emotionally distraught or imbalanced. The student unconsciously becomes attracted to you, which should not be. The student loses concentration in class and becomes self-conscious when you're nearby, and may become unhappy or become depressed when you're not in school, or when you even forget to pass such compliments. Inasmuch as you may think your student is beautiful or handsome, please do not pass such endearments. You may think it's harmless, but guess what? It is harmful to the psyche of the student. Your duty is to teach morals and your lesson notes. Please focus on your teaching deliverables and how to ensure that your students succeed in their studies. It will be honor to you to graduate an A-star student than an emotionally distraught student, consciously or unconsciously caused by you. Comments like, you're a brilliant student or intelligent student, keep up the good work, is just good enough to encourage and keep a healthy teacher-student relationship. So, if you know any teacher who passes suggestive endearment, tell them to stop the sweet nothings and keep it academic. Honestly, that's my 2 kobo.
The stories now break online. Don't miss anything from our real-time updates and exclusive content. Follow and participate in discussions on live TV studio programs to shape the narratives. Subscribe, engage, and share from AIT.live at AIT_online on X, AIT Online on Facebook, official AIT Live on Instagram, TikTok, and Threads on YouTube. Stay connected with AIT. On air, online, on live. The stories now break online. Don't miss anything from our real-time updates and exclusive content. Follow and participate in discussions on live TV studio programs to shape the narratives. Subscribe, engage, and share from AIT.live at AIT_online on X, AIT Online on Facebook, official AIT Live on Instagram, TikTok, and Threads on YouTube. Stay connected with AIT. On air, online, on live. The stories now break online. Don't miss anything from our real-time updates and exclusive content. Follow and participate in discussions on live TV studio programs to shape the narratives. Subscribe, engage, and share from AIT.live at AIT_online on X, AIT Online on Facebook, official AIT Live on Instagram, TikTok, and Threads on YouTube. Stay connected with AIT. On air, online, on live.
All right, thank you so much for still staying with us on Kakaaki, the African Voice. You do know that when it's 7 a.m. on the show, we will be looking at the national papers, and we will be doing that now and reviewing the front page stories with our guests who are already seated here, an equation balanced, gender balanced right here on the show.
We're dominating.
Yeah, gender balance here on the other side when it comes to the reviewers. Okay, so we have Chuks Akona right here on the show, a very senior member of the profession of the Authority newspaper. And we also have Chizoba Ogbeche here as well, a very, is the deputy editor, isn't it? Yes, of the Blueprint newspaper. So they will be helping us do some analysis of the major headline stories this morning. Welcome, gentleman and gentlewoman, or gentlemen of the press.
Lady and gentlemen.
All right, just to mention that our handle on YouTube in the interim has changed. We are Africa Independent Television, spelled out in full. Africa Independent Television. In case you have to run now, but you don't want to miss it, please, you could go over to our YouTube channel, Africa Independent Television in full, and join us. All right, let's begin seeing what is on the pages of the newspaper. Daily.
It's actually at Africa Independent TV.
Well, that's the username, yes, right there. But if you type us in full,
yes,
you'll find us there.
Yeah. Yes.
So Daily Asset is saying that Reps amend Electoral Act, void dual party membership, prescribe 2-year jail term, 10 billion naira fine for offenders. Culprit lose recognition in all parties. That's on page 2 of Daily Asset this morning.
All right, let's leave Daily Asset and move on to the Authority newspaper. Chuks and his men decided to use political issues for this paper this morning as his major lead. Belong to 2 parties, go to jail. Reps amended Electoral Act says also prescribes fine. Belong to 2 parties, go to jail. So a nice one to analyze this.
Yeah. So from Chuks' paper, we go to Daily Sun. It says, as Rep amend newly signed Electoral Act, dual party membership to attract 2-year jail term. Offenders may also pay 10 million naira fine or both. That's how that paper is leading on page 6 this morning.
And to the Al Jazeera Nigeria, also same headline, Reps okay 2 years jail term for dual parties, politicians, criminalize membership of 2 parties at the same time in 2026 Electoral Act amendment.
And we cross over to the Daily Monitor, same story, different words. It says, Reps amend Electoral Act, criminalize dual party membership. Individuals found guilty of belonging to more than 1 party to face fine of 10 million naira, jail term of 2 years.
We wonder why all the editors chose to lead with the story, the very trending one. The Daily Trust is also leading with that. Electoral Act, cross-carpet crackdown traps politicians. Cross-carpet crackdown traps politicians. That's how the Daily Trust put that story.
And we go to Chizoba's paper, Blueprint. It says, appeal court judgment. Wike Turaki-led PDP factions push for reconciliation. And that takes us away from the Electoral Act. Some of the writers says we would embrace window provided by ruling on Ibadan Convention. That's Turaki-led Board of Trustees talking. And then we have the FCT minister saying we will negotiate from position of strength. Interesting.
Yes, indeed. Okay, so let's move on to the News Direct. That's the Nigerian News Direct, also leading with the PDP issue. It says PDP turmoil escalates as Wike camp claims control. Beauty rejects appeal court ruling. That's a different slant to that story. And then you have some writers there as Wike insists on new national convention. Wabara-led Beauty sets up reconciliation committee.
And now let's see what the leadership is saying. Its lead story is on page 4 this morning. It says, Wike to Makinde Bala Muhammad. we are in charge of PDP. We will negotiate from position of strength. Party's neck fixes presidential primary for May 23rd.
All right, let's have a different story as led by this Nigeria this morning. Goes to the war in the Middle East. It says fleeing from Iran. Federal government evacuates Nigerians through Armenia border. Airspace closure forces land evacuation as Middle East tension escalates. That's this Nigeria, the lead story.
In alignment, the New Telegraph says, Middle East crisis, Iran dares Trump, tells world to get ready for $200 per barrel crude oil.
Okay, so let's move on to the Daily Global, or is it the New Telegraph?
Daily Global
You just
now?
took the New Telegraph, so
Right.
we'll move to Daily Global. Dangote refinery slashes petrol price by 100 naira to 1,075 per litre. Okay, I think I saw the story yesterday. Okay, we'll move on. Let's go to another paper.
All right, so still talking oil, Vanguard is saying Middle East war, despite Dangote's price cut, petrol is still 1,300 naira. And some of the riders say that depot price ranges between 1,190 naira and 1,200 naira per litre. It says transporters, commuters, others lament high fuel prices.
Okay, so let's move on to the next paper, and that is the Standard Times. NNPCL cut fuel price by 95 naira after Dangote refineries reduction. Highly competitive there. NNPCL cut fuel price by 95 naira after Dangote refineries reduction. Check out details of the story. It starts from page 1 and runs through the second page of the paper, the Standard Times.
Okay, let's see how the Observer's Time is leading us this morning. Observer Time says, coordinated operations, DSS dismantles bandit arms syndicate, court jails arms gang 10 years each. Female courier admits firing 302 bullets to bandits. Oh, wow.
Okay, so let's see the Nigerian pilot boldly in red, as always. Change your tactics, it says, and who's referred to here? Check out the riders. Defense Minister directs service chiefs to review military operation in Northeast and Northwest. Acknowledge that military recorded significant casualties in recent engagements. Yeah, that's on the part of the insurgents. The details of that is on page 8 of the Nigerian pilot.
All right, so The Guardian now, it says World Kidney Day, caregivers groan as dialysis hits 80,000 naira per session, transplant 30 million naira. That introduces us to our first conversation this morning after the newspapers. We also have 2027, Afenifere faults removal of certificate clause as reps amend Electoral Act.
Okay, so let's look at some of the major headline stories and do a review and analysis of that by bringing in our reviewers now. Okay, so one of the major stories that cut across many papers this morning is the amendment to the Electoral Act, which specifies which voids dual party membership and prescribes a fine and 2-year jail term for any offender. Of course, Chooks, your paper is also leading with that story. So let's see why you think this is an important story to make the best headline today on the front page.
Yes, of course, it's a very important story because there's this saying that you cannot choose to run with the hare and also at the same time hunt with the hounds. It's a British, an English idiom. You know, you don't have your foot in two camps. It has always been the bane of elections. In 2007, I remember very, very well, a particular candidate from my state had, on the day of close of nomination, the individual had was nominated by 2 political parties for the same, and had
two nominations as candidate.
Had 2 at the same day. You know, so, and I must commend our reps for taking this very bold initiative, you know, even though it's going to hurt some of them too. But that's the only way we can strengthen party leadership in Nigeria. Parties have always been seen as a vehicle that people use and dump at will. But now, the way it is, you know, it's for the reps, if you belong to PDP, you're in PDP. If you belong to APC, you're an APC. If you belong to ABGA, you're an ABGA. And that's why talking about registration of, parties have to now submit a register of their members, you know, 21 days before their congresses or convention or whatever it is. Well, of course, we know that party primaries too are kind of convention, you know, congresses. But then, you see, it's, I know Nigerians will always look for a way to circumvent some of these laws, because the law says if one knowingly, I think there's a clause there, if you knowingly belong to 2 political parties. So it now becomes incumbent on whoever is going to pursue that case in court to prove that the person knowingly.
Is it possible for someone to belong to 2 parties without knowing it? And I'm even wondering how that happens, really. You register for one, or you are not registered, you just operate as a member of the party, or you have registration, membership card of 2 different parties.
No, look at what happened in Bayelsa recently. You know, when the former governor, Saraki Dixon, you know, he, for those who don't even remember, he was a pioneer national state chairman of Alliance for Democracy in Bayelsa State. So when President Jonathan became the acting governor of Bayelsa State, he cross-carpeted from AD to PDP and became Attorney General of the state. He's continued in PDP. From Attorney General of the state, he became a member of the House of Reps twice. And second term, he was nominated to become governor, PDP candidate in the state, and became governor of the state. But when Governor Doediri, who's always been in PDP, defected to the APC, former Governor Dixie, you know, he cried blue mother. You know, he accused his successor of betraying, and other governors of betraying the trust of the PDP, you know, blah, blah, blah. What happened? A few weeks later, a few days ago, he defected to a new political party. Not knowing that all the while he's been crying blue mother. You know, he already had another political party in his bag. I think Nigerian Democratic Party or something like that. But it tells you that when politicians tell you good morning, you have to actually be sure that it's morning. You know, and I keep saying that. So like you said, most times, because of primaries, what they do is, you know, they have this interest here, having this interest, so that if they don't
if this one fails.
Yes, exactly, they go there. But the way it is now, you know, if the law is amended, you know, hopefully, you know, it will strengthen our democratic process.
All right, let's come to you, Chizoba. We see this. I mean, we know that we're a country of laws with maybe no implementation. So do you have an understanding how it really works? Because we have e-registration across parties, and this we usually see to millions of Nigerians registering with those political parties. Is there a system in place that helps us see, like, sieve the registration, or are there certain people who are targeted to say, we're looking for your name in Party A and Party B? Let's see how that works. And then the implementation of the jail term and the 10 million naira fine.
I cannot actually answer to the first question, because I think the INEC is responsible for that. And that is why they ask for the submission of the register within a period. And I think the e-registration, to a large extent, has put paid to the issue of dual membership, which is actually not a common thing. But people negotiate. People, even the APC, that is the ruling party, came about through negotiation, merger, and coalition. So that is common. But what I think the reps should, and the National Assembly itself should be thinking of is the issue of cross-carpeting. People moving with mandates from one party to another. That's what I would like them, and a lot of Nigerians want to see them legislate on. That when you cross-carpet, the law is there, but like you say, we're a country of laws, but it's implementation. That you have a situation where you cross-carpet, you leave the mandate of the people for the party. You don't move with it. But the issue of dual party membership is yet to be seen how it will be implemented. But with the e-registration, like you talked about, it means that you can get the list of every member of each party, as it were. So if there's duplication, that should be, it's an electronic thing, that should be easy to be found. But leaving one party to another is not the same thing as dual membership, except you registered in the party while you were still in the old one.
You know, that was why I was actually asking how that works, that you carry two party cards. Because normally, even the defection, they do it in public, really. So everyone knows that you're leaving one party to the other for some politicians. But
so what I'm actually trying to say, so it's easy to find out. But I'm looking forward to a situation where there will be fine and jail term for people who move with mandates from one party to the other.
And those who are in one party and they are campaigning for another party.
Yes.
How do you describe that?
Yes,
is that called dual? That cannot be described as dual membership. Because they still tell you they belong to a particular party,
like
but
in
Rivers, they are conversing for others.
The former Rivers State Governor said they have a rainbow coalition, which means PDP and APC are working together. And yesterday, yesterday he has brought it to the FCT. So you find, how do you draw the line? Because if I'm in PDP and I'm working for APC or working with APC, so the transition, there's a blur. The line blurs between when you move from one party. Those are things that need to be defined. But we'll see how it goes.
But very, very quickly, parties have internal mechanism to deal with anti-party activities. That's why, but if you don't strengthen those parties, how do they actually work on that?
How about if it's the breadwinner of the party?
No, but that's what we speak about, strengthening the party so that the party does not belong to one man.
So this will actually strengthen parties. That's what it means.
Exactly.
Okay, let's go to the next major headline.
Okay, so we look at Blueprint now, Nigerian News Direct, and leadership, and of course others that are leading with the PDP story, PDP crisis update. We see that Wike is insisting that they will negotiate from the position of strength, and maybe the other candidates or factions are already calling for peace and reconciliation. You led with that story, so Chizoba, let's bring you in.
Okay. I think it's in the interest of PDP to negotiate and reconcile, but one could say it's too little, too late. And what's the likelihood? Because for a party that had 26 governors at some point, they are now struggling to ensure that they field candidates in the next election, because that will stop them from being deregistered, which is neither here nor there. Because talking about negotiating from a position of strength, there's a story that talked about the BOT. They have two BOTs. Yes, one headed by former Senate President Wabara, and that one by Mo Ohuabunwa. So which are you referring to? And it was your position of strength that the other party lost an opportunity that they had, or the edge they thought they had, because they had a Congress that was actually not backed by the law, because they were told not to go ahead with it, and they did. How did the other side of how did it emerge? Because you could also ask questions. I'm seeing a situation where, at the end of the day, somebody is working to ensure that PDP does not have candidates in the next election. Because whether position of strength or not, before the law, do you really stand firm? Or like you said, one person is funding a party and the person calls the shots, whether right or wrong, and people are following him. Because they have to be very careful to ensure that whatever they do goes in accordance with their constitution one and the law. Because if not, you find a set of people who will still go to court and challenge it. And if this time they don't get it, you will see that they might not, even if they field candidates, we've seen it happen, I think, in Plateau and Zamfara, where candidates are fielded and the court nullifies it. So PDP needs to get its act together because this country is in their need of opposition, credible opposition, and
now,
which is lacking.
What does getting this act together now mean? Because, well, there have been issues which everybody know and we've been following. But with the way things are going and the way they are talking tough, okay, the Nigerian News Direct put it this way: PDP turmoil escalates as Wike camp claims control. BOT rejects appeal court ruling. In another paper, Wike to Makinde, Bala Mohammed were in charge of PDP. This is the leadership now. We are in charge of PDP. We'll negotiate from position of strength. Party's neck, fixes presidential primary for May 23. Like Chizoba asked, which of the necks? Because as we know now,
no. It's very no. I think we are not being fair to PDP.
Okay.
As we speak, there's a judgment of the Court of Appeal, and whether we like it or not, if you go to court and the judge rules, what the next what follows is as the court pleases. In the eyes of the law, we all know the recognized leadership of the PDP, and you see, I feel very, very sad because this is a party I covered as a young reporter. I remember how strong PDP. Actually, PDP had 21 governors in the first, from 1999 till 2002, until the late Mbadiniju left and joined the Alliance for Democracy. They came to 20. So, with that said, I don't see anything wrong in what Wike said about negotiating from position of strength, because as things stand, the EXCO recognized by the court at Court of Appeal as today, Thursday, is that of Wike, those loyal to Wike, if you ask me. That's the truth. And you see, party membership, how many members actually pay their membership dues? These are some of the issues. Because I remember at a time, you see, if you have a child who's gone to school, you have a son or a daughter who's going to school, and he spent 3 months in school, you're not sending money to that ward or the child, and somebody's giving that person money. Whose loyalty would that person, and who would that child be loyal to? That's some of the issues. There was a time people don't know that PDP could not pay his what they call it, rent for its secretariat. You understand? They had several governors. Most of the governors shied away from that. Wike paid, and there's always the saying of that he who pays the piper always calls a tune. Remember how did Yocha lose his membership of his chairmanship of the PDP? Imagine national chairman of the party didn't pay his membership during the ward. So it's that numero uno of PDP who has people support like in campaigns. If you go everywhere, people what do you call it? Raise what do you call it?
This is in the back. They say you raise capital, so I don't know.
No. People campaign.
Funds.
Yes, they raise funds. So people participate. People contribute money because they believe in that party. And let's not get something wrong. Even in America, people leave their parties for another party. It's there. Because you're a Democrat, you are a Republican, and if you feel that the party, there's instances where people have said, okay, I'm a rep or I'm a senator, but this is ideals we had, about when we formed this party. But it's no longer, I don't believe I should continue to be a member of this party. And they leave. It's actually freedom of association. Actually, some reps raised that yesterday. But the issue is that it's good that the PDP, I read very, very carefully Senator Wabara's speech yesterday. In one breath, he said he disagreed with the judgment of the Court of Appeal, which, of course, you know, it doesn't matter if you agree with it or not. It's there and it's there. That's why it's good about going to the Supreme Court. But in another breath, he was talking about reconciliation. And I feel that Chizoba said something about it too late. Yeah, there's no time that is late when you want to talk about reconciliation. They still have time to actually reconcile. And I like what former Senate President Bukola Saraki said. He made a very, very passionate appeal, I think yesterday, on Facebook. But the story was, we led with that story yesterday. He did the day before yesterday. We led with that story yesterday. When he spoke about, you know, burying the hatchet. What is the aim of a political party in the first place? It's for people to be able to fulfill their aspirations. You know, you want to, for people to be able to fulfill their aspirations. So if at the end of the day, they're not able to field candidates for elections, so why are they political parties in the first place? So I'm happy that yesterday, Senator Wambara, even though he said, in one breath, he said, you know, he grumbled about the Court of Appeal judgment. Well, in another breath, talking about reconciliation.
They will be able to do reconciliation because we know that even before this crisis got to this point, there have been different reconciliation committees.
No. The truth is this. No. Sorry. Like I told you something. I said I covered political PDP very, very extensively. I know a lot about PDP. I covered the party very, very well. They had only three parties. You only had the AD, you had the PDP, and you had the APP that later became AMPP. But what am I saying? Senator Wambara, you see, trustees, they are benchmark for you to become a trustee of most parties. You are maybe from 50 years or from 55 or from 60. So I assume that you've overcome it. You are now very mature. You can now handle things as an elder. During the PDP crisis, people like Senator Wambara, I stand to be corrected, did not behave neutral. I mean, they didn't show neutrality. Senator Wambara, who was the chairman of the board of trustees of PDP, went to Abia and was campaigning for the candidate of another party. You understand? So people said, if you're able to, if you as the chairman of the board of trustees is campaigning for Governor Oti, so why are we contesting elections in Abia any longer? I mean, why are we there?
Please, can I put something in perspective? The Wambara situation, that's outcome of two meetings. The first was the one he said, and after the second meeting, he now said they were going for reconciliation. So I think we go with the last one, where he said reconciliation. You get?
So it depends on how the papers.
No, it's translation really. Because I'm sorry.
Let's bring in some of our viewers at this point on YouTube, Africa Independent Television, Africa Independent TV also. Moses Guang is saying, okay, I will jump that. Maybe you read that later.
No, it's Chizoba he's talking to. He said it's about what somebody is working to ensure that PDP doesn't feel the candidate. Be bold and courageous to call a spade a spade. Okay, so go ahead.
All right, Michael Mavudu is saying that the problem of PDP is that everybody wants to be in control of the party. Wike wants to have control, Makinde wants to have control, and few others. You can only have one leader in every organization. Michael Mavudu had said something earlier.
Okay, he said that he's not a politician, but when he was watching the Badr Convention, I told my wife that these people are just wasting their time and money here.
And Victor Tahimba says, you risk jail time if you belong to two political parties, but what about those win election on their political party and they come to another political party and still remain on that seat? I think our analysts have spoken to that.
Did you read Peter Energy's comment?
No,
he said,
I
if
haven't.
elected officers are made to lose their seats when they decamp, what will governors like Adeleke do when it's obvious that the party candidates may not be recognized?
Okay.
All right, so those are some of the comments coming from our online viewers. We thank you for keeping those comments coming in. Let's take one more topic before we wrap up.
All right, so we go to The Guardian at this point that is looking at World Kidney Day. It says that dialysis, a session, 80,000 naira, and even for anything, you have to pay up to 30,000 naira. How do they survive?
30 million naira for
it's really you know, I met somebody who has a kidney problem, and you know, it's better imagined than, you know, experience, or you know someone who is a very, very tough one. Now people are struggling to even have 3 meals a day. You're not talking about meals. You're not talking about filling your car. You're talking about paying rent. You're not talking about paying school fees. You're just trying to struggle to raise money to stay alive. It's a very, very tough one. And I think the more centers we have, because it's a very, I happen to be with the DSS, the DSS DG a few days ago. He held, he broke fast with his operatives and Muslims, and I was privileged to be there. And after that, they went to the kidney. They have a dialysis center in Abuja here, the DSS, and it was very heart-touching to see that a member of another security arm, is benefiting from the dialysis center there. I was very happy as a human being because, the DSS did not say, this man is not a member, he's not in our service. He's of a different security arm, and, we saw the man there. The DG went, met the man, and it was very touching. It was very, very touching. And I just imagine if other security agencies, if other governments, because it's a problem that is becoming increasingly with us. The incidence of kidney-related diseases is hiding in Nigeria. And I wish that we could invest more, state governments, because sometimes we just wait for federal government or federal agencies to do this. These are things that state governments, imagine if each state had kidney centers, dialysis centers, and it's a very, very difficult one. It's a very difficult one.
For me, I think the saying that prevention is better than cure applies here. We should ask, why do we now have not just kidney, a lot of cancers?
So we should be looking at prevention mechanisms.
Enlightenment. Because when you look at it, say processed food, even the abo that people take, you don't know what is in it. We should enlighten from primary school. Let's understand that what we eat is a factor of course.
So enlightenment is key. Yeah. All right, because we'll be also talking about this topic as our first conversation, joining the world to mark the World Kidney Day, so we won't waste much time on this particular one. We thank you, gentlemen of the press, for your time and your contribution on the paper reviews. Ben Chooks Akuna, the Authority newspaper, and of course, Chizoba Ogbeche of the Blueprint newspaper. Fantastic conversations here. Do have a great day out there.
Thank you.
Okay, for those of you online who are bothered about the change in our handle, we are telling you now that this has come to stay. So do not worry. We are trying to reposition to make you feel better, to serve you better, and to ensure that your contributions are heard loud and clear. So I see your comments, and we're telling you that Africa Independent Television TV on our YouTube channel has come to stay this time around. So bear with us.
The Iran war is affecting us.
The Iran war is definitely not affecting us. We are just repositioning to serve you better. All right, we'll take a break. And when we return, it will be time for our first conversation.
The stories now break online. Don't miss anything from our real-time updates and exclusive content. Follow and participate in discussions on live TV studio programs to shape the narratives. Subscribe, engage, and share from AIT.live at AIT_online on X, AIT Online on Facebook, Official AIT Live on Instagram, TikTok, and Threads on YouTube. Stay connected with AIT. On air, online, on live. The issues as they break. The multitude, the political figures, the state and non-state actors.
It's a serious threat to democracy.
And our governments seem to be incapable of protecting
the scheming.
This is not a period we should say bow and go. Every part of this country is equal.
The intrigue.
There can be no one person that is bigger than the party.
Deft moves and the momentous declaration.
We didn't get any protection.
I'm not particularly against anybody.
We track and capture them all.
I don't believe we got for that reason in politics.
Follow in-depth analysis and no-holds-barred interviews.
Armed forces of the country is well capable. They need the political will.
Are they just waking up from sleep? Is there complacency?
Feel the pulse of happenings in the political arena on AIT Democracy Today. Widely acclaimed authority on politics. Monday to Friday, 7 p.m. Nigerian time. Focus Nigeria. It's a huge task, but we take it on.
That is the law. National Assembly is not doing hearing on insecurity in Nigeria. It is America that is doing hearing on insecurity in Nigeria.
Monday to Friday on Focus Nigeria, we identify the nagging issues.
So people put people in poverty deliberately, deliberate misplacement of priorities, and brought people on their knees to suffer.
We seek answers to the tough challenges.
And because of
for the former president, what I know is that he has not turned his membership card. Has not been attending your meeting.
Leave that to us to deal with.
There's no shying away from the issues.
The system is held accountable. The leaders are accountable for the funds, for the resources that they manage.
No sitting on the fence.
The same thing that made you live where you are may confront you.
Focus Nigeria, 10 a.m., Monday to Friday on AIT. People, politics, and power brings context and clarity to issues and events in governance, democracy, and development. On People, Politics, and Power, we feature people who shape the events and define the issues.
A lot of the agencies are still struggling with implementation of freedom of information.
The government should come. We need Nigeria to work.
We examine the interplay and interaction of politics with power and their impact on policies and the people.
It's about getting the system to deliver the kind of electoral outcome that people will be happy with.
People, Politics, and Power with Imoni Amarere.
Will low-performing agencies be held to account? Or will the numbers fade after the headlines?
At 1 p.m. every Monday and Friday on AIT.
All right, everyone, welcome back from that break. As we did mention, today is World Kidney Day, and here at the Africa Independent Television, we're marking it, celebrating the day, and also creating awareness with medical practitioners, professionals, and we're situating it because we're looking at the Nigerian situation in focus. We did mention that we have 3 guests who will be joining us. We have Mariam Badebo, kidney transplant recipient, who would be sharing her experience. As well, we have Dr. Ade Fakponle, nephrologist, Zenith Medical Kidney Center. They've both joined us, and we're looking forward to receiving Dr. Olatishe Olalekon later on the program. Thank you, and welcome to the show.
Thank you for having us. All right, let's begin with it, doctor. How big a problem is kidney disease globally and in Nigeria as well? That has necessitated this kind of awareness that we do every World Kidney Day.
It's a problem. It's a big problem. It's been predicted that by 2040, it's going to be the 3rd leading cause of death across the world. Right now, I mean, it's also been said that at least by 2040, it's going to be responsible for at least 1/3 of mortality across the world. At the moment, we talk about 10 to 14% of people, in Nigeria, being affected. So you could say currently about at least 25 million people or thereabout have some form of chronic kidney disease or the other. So it's a big problem.
Okay, when you say some form of kidney problem, it means there are different forms.
Oh, yes, there are different forms of kidney disease. You could talk about acute kidney injury, and then the big fish itself, what we call the chronic kidney disease, the existing stages. Stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, and stage 4, and stage 5 down the line. When we talk about the last stage, that's the stage 5, That's what we call the end-stage renal disease, whereby patients would have to either to stay alive, will either need to get some form of renal replacement therapy or the other, vis-a-vis dialysis or get a kidney transplant to stay alive. Yeah.
All right, Miriam, let's come to you, because statistics that are available say that about 20 million Nigerians have one form of kidney disease or the other. That's a lot of people right there suffering this ailment. You have survived this. What form did you have and how did you manage it?
Thank you very much. So at first I was diagnosed with stage 3, but then with further, I was very adamant that it wasn't stage 3, so I kept pushing, but I later found out it was end stage, both kidneys. That is stage 5. And of course, I had to go.
Stage 5?
Yes, I was at end stage kidney disease, both kidneys affected. So I had to go through a life-saving transplant, but before that, of course, I had to do dialysis.
That's scary, but you don't look like anyone who has gone through such. So, and many people who are watching us now, many Nigerians would want to share from your experience and actually know how to deal with this. Is this something that you could have prevented from happening? What were the doctors telling you at the time, you know, that led to that, to the point that it got to stage 5?
All right, so definitely kidney disease is preventable. Early detection and screening can save lives, up to 15 million according to the Global Kidney Alliance. If people just stop being scared, you find that more people are scared to go to the hospital and get screened for fear that they may actually get a positive outcome. But if people actually go for early screening, there's a possibility and the probability that you can reverse, like you mentioned, there's acute kidney disease. And if in fact you are diagnosed with kidney disease, I can tell you for free that it is a journey. It's a long road and a journey that the person will undergo. However, you need to have a very strong resolve. The person will go through different stages: denial, anger, grief. These are all things I personally experienced. What the doctors were telling you, for me, it was more autoimmune. I think mine was more autoimmune. And just the same way people don't know there's something called autoimmune.
Autoimmune?
Yes, autoimmune disorder, but there's that too. But today is about World Kidney Day. So in my case, it was just the body acting out. And when I got my diagnosis, I was very shocked, because I neither drink or abuse substance. I neither use substance, I beg your pardon. I don't use substance or drink at all. I've never been a soda person. I was always drinking lots of water, which is why when I got my diagnosis, I was actually very water heavy. I was carrying a lot of water. So I started having swellings. It was the symptoms. The problem with kidney disease is it's a silent killer. You don't see the symptoms until you're about stage 3, 4, 5. So most people are actually walking around carrying the disease, not knowing that they're actually carrying the disease, which is why screening is good. If you are diagnosed, yes, it's scary. It will be absolutely scary, because it will feel like your life is about to end, but no, it won't. You need to seek out treatment. If you're still in stage 1, 2, 3, there's a possibility. The doctors are doing heroic work right now. There's a possibility they will be able to help you out. But once you've gotten to stage 3, 4, 5, then you might be considering life-saving dialysis and transplant.
All right, we may come back to how you managed it, because stage 5 is the height of it. So let's come to doctor. If you are in the medical space and you could not, was it until it was stage 5 you even realized?
You mean me?
Yes, you.
The thing about it is, my job was regularly sedentary. I had a sedentary job, so I had been noticing some of the signs, like puffiness around my eyes, swelling, fatigue. Normally a flight of stairs, which I would climb normally, because I used to live on the top floor, so I would climb a flight of stairs without effort. But then I started noticing climbing the flight of stairs, I was constantly breathless. I was having fatigue, sleepless nights, and then the urination. I had less need to go to the restroom. I could go for hours without going to the restroom. But the only time I started noticing it was when my feet started swelling. When the feet started swelling, my feet were not backing down. Apparently, what the body does is it gives you subtle signals, but people overlook the signals. They always take a positive route until my body was no longer ready to be ignored. So my feet started swelling. And they started swelling to a point that could not be ignored, and I couldn't walk. So I went to seek out healthcare, by which time I already got a diagnosis of stage 3, and with further, I further delayed because I took the route of, it can't be, this is not me, it's not mine, and I kept pushing, and eventually the delay eventually got to stage 5.
Oh, wow. So let's come to you. I mean, she is a medical practitioner. If she could, she's not. I know you have a foundation, and maybe you have to tell your stories using your foundation right now.
And also create positive impact on the lives of
so that
others.
people don't be
because
like
you don't look like anyone who has gone through that. I must confess that series.
Yeah.
Okay, so
yeah, speak to us about the essence of early detection and checking as well, so that we don't get to that point when it's already stage 5 or stage 3 before you find out. Speak to us, early detection.
And that's the beauty of days like this, to give people opportunity to check themselves, people who've never been to the hospital, because there are several centers scattered across the country where offering free tests for kidney disease. Because the truth is that it's when this thing is picked up early, when chronic kidney disease is picked up early, that it can either slow down progression or retard whatever damage that might have taken place on the kidney. And because largely in the early stages, you just like Madam Gbadebo said, you might not pick up anything. There might be no symptoms. It's when you start going down that the numbers that you now start realizing some subtle symptoms start coming in. Or I wake up, my face is swollen, it regresses as the day goes by, or the legs are swollen, until it gets down the whole ladder itself, and you probably don't even make urine at all by the time you start getting to the late stages. And that's why you need to subject yourself, particularly when you start climbing early, get into into your 40s, to make sure you check yourself on a yearly basis.
What are the risk factors? Because I'm just a bit, I'm not supposed to be scared, really, because we are supposed to enlighten people here. But it's scary, the fact that you don't even know you have this and you're carrying it about. Like she said, many people are going about not knowing that they have a problem. And she doesn't drink. We have been told that drinking alcohol, drinking herbal remedies, abuse of drugs and all of that are risk factors. But she didn't do all of that. So what should anyone do to prevent this from happening?
Okay, so
what are the risk factors?
All over the world, the 2 leading causes are still hypertension and diabetes. And so, I mean, when you've been told you are either of these 2, the goal is that you should get it controlled. Because the problem now stems from the fact that if you don't get your blood pressure controlled or you don't get your blood sugar controlled, over time, you can damage your kidneys. We know that the statistics have proven that, not just here, all over the world. Those are the 2 leading causes. But there are several risk factors.
There are lifestyle changes.
There are lifestyle changes. Yes. And so then you now start thinking of common things like abuse of painkillers. I mean, largely you could just walk up to any store and get some painkillers, just without even a doctor or doctor's prescription, and because of some sorts of pain. If you take large consumption of some of these things over time, it can damage your kidneys. Taking smoking is a big risk factor. If you smoke consistently over the years, we know that it can damage your kidneys. I mean, alcohol, large consumption of alcohol, it's also a risk factor. If you take, in these days where you can just get some, a pack of herbal supplements, and you don't know how, these things have not been subjected to the normal scientific route of verification to know there are possible side effects, and you subject yourself to some of these things, you just might be at risk from coming down with a kidney disease. But some people, just because of family history, genetics play a role, not because of they've done anything, really. There's some genetic causes of kidney disease, just being born to this family, you're at risk of also coming down with a kidney disease. Taking things in terms of bleaching agents that have high particularly mercury products and hydroxyquinone, those things, if you take some of these things over, you want to change your skin color and all that, and subject yourself to some of these things, you can come down with a kidney disease. And if you also are somebody who doesn't take so much water, because water is a beautiful thing. If you don't take so much water over time, take water adequately.
Well, she takes a lot of water from her story.
We're talking about a lot of respect.
So that is the aspect that people are really bothered about. And some people say even these herbal remedies, that even the scientific medicine you're talking about, well, some of them were incorporated from herbal medicine. People take agbo when they are having headache and they say it goes, or they have malaria and all of that. We're speaking to this so that people who are watching will actually understand whether this causes danger or not and how they want to go. So if somebody is taking water, is not smoking, is not drinking alcohol, and she still came down to the point that even her 2 kidneys were affected. I mean, is it that it can avoid it?
That's why I said. You remember I said there are some people, just because of their family histories, they are also at risk. We are not disputing the fact that even medications, even the scientific medications that we prescribe to you in the hospital, some of them have could cause kidney damage, and that's why it's taken under a doctor's supervision. So how much more some of the herbal supplements that you take without any prescription? What's the quantity? When is it best to take? We don't even know some of these things.
All right.
Yeah.
So I think that we have a firm foundation to proceed and come to Nigeria and look at the facilities that are available to Nigerians in Nigeria right here to treat all of these kidney ailments that we've mentioned. A paper The Guardian led with a story this morning, and it says that 30 million naira is needed for transplant. And for every session for dialysis, you need up to 80,000 naira at least for that. We're looking at affordability and the facilities available in Nigeria. We'll see, come with you.
Yeah, well, the figures you deposited are not out of place. All over the world, a kidney transplant is expensive, whether you go to the US or the UK. It's even cheaper here. The only problem here is that many people have to pay out of pockets for it. To get good surgeries...
133 million Nigerians are multidimensionally poor.
That's why that's the same thing I'm saying. The only difference is that people are paying out of pocket here. Many of these developed climes, insurance, as long as you're a citizen, will cover them, and so somebody's bearing the responsibility. A kidney transplant, when you get a kidney transplant, it's coming to fore right now because many of the kidney transplants we do are most likely privately driven. But again, if you compare with what you have outside, it's likely cheap.
Okay, so we'll come to all of that and how you were able to manage it. That means you had your 2 kidneys transplant for the 2 kidneys. Is that what it is?
Okay, so a transplant is not necessarily for the 2 kidneys.
Okay, so hold on. Okay. We will talk about this. We understand that Dr. Olatishe is already here, so let's bring him to join in this conversation. But we'll come to you to talk to us about that in just a moment.
The stories now break online. Don't miss anything from our real-time updates and exclusive content. Follow and participate in discussions on live TV studio programs to shape the narratives. Subscribe, engage, and share from AIT.live at AIT_online on X, AIT Online on Facebook, official AIT Live on Instagram, TikTok, and Threads on YouTube. Stay connected with AIT. On air, online, on live.
People, politics, and power brings context and clarity to issues and events in governance, democracy, and development. On People, Politics, and Power, we feature people who shape the events and define the issues.
A lot of the agencies are still struggling with implementation of freedom of information.
The government should come. We need Nigeria to work.
We examine the interplay and interaction of politics with power and their impact on policies and the people.
It's about getting the system to deliver the kind of electoral outcome that people will be happy with.
People, Politics, and Power with Imoni Amarere.
The low-performing agencies be held to account, or will the numbers fade after the headlines?
At 1 p.m. every Monday and Friday.
All right, so thank you so much for staying with us. Still talking about the World Kidney Day and, of course, situating it to Nigeria's situation. We have Dr. Olatishe Olaleko joining us now, a nephrologist and also the Managing Director, Chief Executive Officer of the Zenith Medical Kidney Center. Thank you so much for coming on the show. I'm sorry about the delay out there.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so we've been talking so much about these issues, but let's get it from your own perspective. It's World Kidney Day. We're creating awareness here on what people need to do to avoid, and we got to the point of people getting access to treatment. How affordable is it? And what are the things people need to do to even avoid getting to that stage where they will be requiring transplants? Let's get your view.
Thank you. I'll be very frank, it's not affordable. You know, it's quite expensive, and that's why the whole world is saying we should prioritize kidney health. You know, just recently at the 78th Assembly, the World Health Organization is saying we should prioritize kidney health. Government health systems should prioritize kidney health. And so we should also try to prevent, because when something is not affordable, the only way around it is to prevent getting to a stage where you'll be needing renal replacement therapy, kidney dialysis, kidney transplantation. Yes.
Okay, but we had a story from Madam, trying to get your name, Mariam Badibo here, who said she never took all the things that were being told that predisposes someone to, you know, kidney failure or kidney disease, but she still came down with that, really. And she carries a lot of water. We've been told you need to drink a lot of water, but she also does that. So what more should Nigerians do to be able to maintain this kidney health you're talking about? Yes. And then does government need to come in at this point?
Well, yes, there are certain risk factors that we know that are, I mean, these are the main high-risk factors. But just recently, we're now introducing environmental-related risk, where we talk about heat, stress, dehydration, environmental pollution. So there is now something called environmental-related risk factors for chronic kidney disease. And I think a lot of people should look at that, because you may say, okay, well, I'm not hypertensive, I'm not diabetic, I don't take non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, I exercise, I'm not obese. These are all risk factors. But if you find yourself in these places where temperature is very high,
like we saw yesterday, that people couldn't
Northeast,
even
for
in
example.
Abuja, yeah.
Northeast, well, Abuja yesterday, areas like Gwagwalada and the rest of them. These are all places where the temperatures can get really high. And so that's why now we now know that there is a link between the environment and your kidneys, kidney health. And that's why at the 78th Assembly, they are saying, look, people will need to do everything to protect, prevent kidney diseases by being aware that, look, the environment now contributes to kidney failure risk. You know, you can imagine that even by the time you're getting to having dialysis, those plastics, most of the components of the consumables for dialysis, they are made from plastics. You know, and it is now known that for every session, one session of hemodialysis, carbon emission can be as high as equivalent to traveling 240 kilometers.
Really?
Yes.
You observe this in your hospital as you attend to patients?
From studies. The whole world now knows. You know, we were not aware of this for a very long time. So it tells you that, and imagine that in our center, we do over 1,500 sessions of dialysis monthly.
Monthly?
Really? Monthly, yes. So 1,500. If one session is equivalent to 240 kilometers of driving, the carbon emission that you get from that is that high. It tells you that we shouldn't even get to the point where you'll be needing dialysis. We should talk about how to prevent and then early detection. And that's what the World Health Organization is now saying. For the first time, they said, look, let's pay attention to kidney, because it's becoming a global burden. 1 in 10, if you count 10 people, 1 of them will have chronic kidney disease or will have kidney disease. You know, so it tells you that it's something that we shouldn't shy away from. Government will need to play a role. Awareness is number 1, so that we create that awareness to prevent kidney disease. What are those things that we need to do, you know, to prevent it? And then, of course, early detection. Because if we pick these things early, we can slow down the progression. We can prevent the disease from progressing, and perhaps we don't get to the stage where you'll be needing kidney dialysis or kidney transplantation, which is beyond our reach, because even countries with very robust economy, they are now struggling to foot the burden, the bill.
All right, Doctor, that explains the theme for the year, kidney health for all, caring for people, protecting the planet. Because I was wondering what the relationship is.
The planet was doing it.
Yeah, but you've been able to
planet.
marry it right now.
Oh, yes.
So at 8:00, we should have Kakaaki Social. It's usually Kakaaki Social o'clock, but give us some more minutes. We'll have to finish this conversation and come back to Kakaaki Social. Let's come to you, Miriam. We've had a big name, if we have to put it that way, in this country, whose daughter suffered this ailment, kidney issues ailment, Ike Ekweremadu, and we all aware how that story developed, that the person, the said donor, later came back to say, I did not volunteer to do this. I was bought to do this. And we know right now they're serving jail terms out of Nigeria. How were you able to get someone donate their kidney or something like that? You know, how careful should we be? What's the selection process really of getting a volunteer to give you their kidney in a way that it will not come back to you as you used me?
Okay, thank you very much. So I'm going to begin with debugging. If I created any fear, I should mention that my dad died from kidney disease, so hereditary, like the doctor mentioned, I was also predisposed, even without using any of those substances. So that debunks any form of fear, and that was why I started by saying kidney disease is preventable. Coming back to you, when it comes to organ donor, getting an organ donor, there are legal processes. Unfortunately, we live in a society whereby when people are not informed, they go through the wrong processes. Fortunately for me, the hospital was able to guide me through the legal processes. Before you can have a transplant, there are legal affidavits. The donor has to consent legally. It has to be signed, sealed, and you have to go to the Federal High Court. You have to actually get legal documentation to show that this person is not under duress. You're not giving your organ under duress. It is a journey because many people assume that if they give you a kidney, they'll not be fine. But I live on 1 kidney, and I mean, science has proven that you can actually live on 1 kidney just fine, which is why you can look at me and tell me that I don't look like
you actually look like a model, really.
Yes. So what I do is I create a lot of advocacy, and I like to tell people early detection is the solution. If you're looking for a donor, don't go to the street. Don't go. One of the biggest mistakes people make when they find they're diagnosed with kidney disease is that they go for street advice, and then you find them taking supplements which does more damage. You find them avoiding the hospital, which prolongs the issue, or you find them scouring the internet, which can be very misleading. And if you're aware, I'm sure you're aware of misinformation and all that. So the best thing to do is go to the professionals. The hospital will ensure before a transplant operation is conducted, I had to go through rigorous legal processes. Fortunately for me, I had 2 failed attempts before I got my donor, because the first 2 donors were trying to extort. Eventually, I got a person who said, okay, he will, but I should take care of his family. I should, you know, those kind of things. These are the realities. He was like, if I do this for you, will you take care of my family? I'm like...
For what window? For life? Take care of their family.
Naturally, when they're coming to you with those expectations. So these are conversations you need to have, and that is why legal frameworks are put in place to ensure that in future the donor doesn't come back to try to blackmail you or harass you, that if not for me you wouldn't be here. So the best thing for anyone currently seeking a donor is to go through the legal processes. And as a transplant recipient, I feel like I need to also mention that, you know, as doctor said, the process is extremely expensive because it is out of pocket. And the journey doesn't end when you have a transplant. The NHI also needs to consider incorporating post-transplant immunosuppressants into the scheme. Because yes, we've talked about green dialysis to protect the planet, which is where the world is looking right now. Green dialysis to be able to protect the planet, protect the environment. But they also need to consider that a transplant recipient's journey does not end at transplantation. Post-transplant immunosuppressants can be covered if the government, we commend the government on their initiative to subsidize in some federal centers, but they need to move from pilot to permanent. We want to ensure that it's care for all. So post-transplant medication immunosuppressant should be incorporated 100% into the National Health Insurance Scheme. You know, it is something that is highly expensive, sometimes moving upwards of 200,000. And people who have made it through transplantation sometimes lose their battles because of the struggle to pay out of pocket. Nigeria currently does not have so many transplant recipients. So I believe this is something the government can do. And if you want to go for the win, let's move from pilot to permanent. What I would say to people as a transplant recipient, and what I do with my foundation, is I tell them, early screening and detection is the way to go. Kidney disease is preventable. I came out and I used my voice to raise that awareness. Go get screened. Stop being scared. Go get screened. The same way we tell you, go get screened for hepatitis. Go get screened for HIV. Go get screened for kidney health. It is preventable.
Now getting screening, doctor, does it cost so much? Because people are running away, or it's just the fear of being diagnosed to have kidney disease that is driving people away from, you know, getting that early check?
And that's why the people should make use of a deal like this, where you get many centers are running free tests.
Okay.
So the basic tests are not that expensive. Of course, there are varying tests based on what you think might be the diagnosis, what is triggering the kidney disease. But usually the basic test is not so expensive. So you can walk up to a facility and at least get your basic test done for kidney disease.
Okay, doctor, I asked you earlier. Okay, you wanted to comment on this.
You were saying something.
Yes, I wanted to know, you know, how you think government can come in, because she talked about people even getting transplant and at the end of the day losing the battle. I've also seen some people, you know, one of my bosses at some point, you know, I'm sure they called it a relapse or something at the end of the day. So what causes it, and how does government come in for the post-care she's talking about?
Okay, I would just add to what Doctor has said, Dr. Kwakwande. It's cheap, so that let's say the way it is, so that people are encouraged. Urine tests will not cost you maybe more than 1,000 naira. So I think it's more of our health-seeking behavior. We need to prioritize our health. Getting to the hospital to do just basic urinalysis that will give us a clue as to what the problems might be as regards your kidneys is very cheap. I'm sure all around across the country, the cost shouldn't be more than 1,000, 1,500, which I think a lot of Nigerians can still afford.
At what point in one's life should that happen? Is there an age limit to, you know, seeking
because we have children coming to us for transplants. So we should start early from schools. If you ask me, as part of prerequisite for getting into primary, secondary school now, just urine dipstick test can be done, whether in the school, small health center or clinic. These things can be done. So blood pressures can be checked. In fact, you have pharmacy shops now doing blood pressure check. I wouldn't have advise that we go to that length, but just walk into any hospital and get your blood pressure checked, get a urine test done, dipstick. It's very cheap, very affordable. So I think it has to do with our health-seeking behavior. Yes. Coming to immunosuppressants, they are not cheap. And so I think the National Health Insurance Agency, NHI, is now putting together, they've come to us to ask questions as to how to go about
adding
the
that,
intervention.
because they remove all of that.
Yes,
you know, that where people actually need help.
Because that's one of the reasons why we have rejection when people have a kidney transplant.
Okay, we have to go, but someone who is watching on our YouTube channel is saying the guests should educate us whether the grinding engines we use for processing foods like tomato, cassava flour, and the rest endanger our kidney. MD, sir?
Well, it's a dicey one. If you have anything like heavy metals getting into what we eat, then that could be a problem. Heavy metals, you know, copper, and the rest of them. If in the process of using a grinder, and then that gets into your food, then that's a risk, you know. So the environment we focus on this year, and I think everyone should pay attention that all these plastics that we throw around, emission, or the ones we use in the tool, there is now a link between things are changing, so we also need to adjust. That's one of why kidneys fail, when you are not able to afford the medications. And I must say that, yes, individuals are making efforts. Some people in government are also making effort. One person that I've observed at the moment, the vice president is giving out medications, immunosuppressants for people from the Northeast for free. You know, because I think they've seen that, yes, these things are they're there. Kidney disease, we've seen the very high prevalence from the northeastern part of the country. And so everyone should come on board to do something about it.
All right. I've been so quite educated, and I'm sure so you have been as well. Thank you so much for this awareness this morning. We've been talking about World Kidney Day, the Nigerian situation in focus, and our guests have been Dr. Olatishe Olaleko, a nephrologist, the Managing Director, CEO, Zenith Medical Kidney Center. He's been joined by Dr. Adefabole, nephrologist as well, Zenith Medical Kidney Center, and Mariam Gbadebo, kidney transplant recipient, and she owns a foundation through which she is also creating awareness and advocacy. Fantastic story, and we thank God for your survival, and we wish you the very best. We also have, okay, that's Mariam Gbadebo there. All right. Thank you all for your time with us. We'll take a break and come back for other segments.
Madam, where you the rush go?
I won't go buy light.
But I don't give you better update. Say if you pay with smart cards, they don't go knock you any charges. No be church at all.
I beg. Which can you smart cash? If they no charge you, make them carry me go where I live.
No matter the transaction, Smart Cash no go charge you sheshe. Whether na airtime or na data you buy, or you want pay for your light or na cable bill, na zero charges for Smart Cash. This one not be cho. Work is day.
See ya.
Yeah, you be fine, woman. No. Wait, now make I explain.
They go.
Make yourself download Smart Cash app. Sharp.
Kafin fitowar rana na Afirka, don baiwa iyali na ingantaccen ƙarin kumallo da suke bukata domin tunkara wannan rana mai cike da ayyuka.
Mami, yau zan yi samun babban kofin Milo. Ni mama.
Wannan ya wuce ƙarin kumallo, lokaci ne na musamman na iyalinmu.
To fa, anya akwai sauran Milo da baba zai samu.
Muna murna da zagayowar watan Ramadan tare da sinadarin da ke cikin Milo.
My baba, they always say, for market, every day get your own wahala. Sometimes people go on stand me. But Baba say, no be by gra. You must cool down, dey sharp. Because with OPay payment, your money go enter sharp, no story. But inside market, anything fit happen. One day, we no see phone again. My Baba remember OPay USSD lock, that's *955*131#. Baba press lock account. From market woman to driver, from small boy to big man. Now OPay, they protect people like us. My Baba fit sell, press phone, collect POS, and still they teach me price. And when they don't tire, go just tap OPay night guard. We no fear for this our hustle life. Now OPay be the people payment shield.
Kafin fitowar rana na Afirka, don baiwa iyali na ingantaccen ƙarin kumallo da suke bukata domin tunkara wannan rana mai cike da ayyuka.
Mami, yau zan yi samun babban kofin Milo. Ni mama.
Wannan ya wuce ƙarin kumallo, lokaci ne na musamman na iyalinmu.
To fa, anya akwai sauran Milo da baba zai samu.
Muna murna da zagayowar watan Ramadan tare da sinadarin da ke cikin Milo.
Focus Nigeria. It's a huge task, but we take it on.
The National Assembly is not doing hearing on insecurity in Nigeria. It is America that is doing hearing on insecurity in Nigeria.
Monday to Friday on Focus Nigeria, we identify the nagging issues.
Some people put people in poverty deliberate misplacement of priorities and brought people on their knees to suffer.
We seek answers to the tough challenges.
And because of the former president, what I know is that he has not turned his membership card. Has not been attending your meeting.
Leave that to us to deal.
There's no shying away from the issues.
The system is held accountable. The leaders are accountable for the funds, for the resources that they manage.
No sitting on the fence.
The same thing that made you live where you are may confront you.
Focus Nigeria, 10 a.m., Monday to Friday on AIT. Issues as they break. The multitude, the political figures, the state and non-state actors.
There is a serious threat to democracy.
And our government seem to be incapable of protecting.
The scheming.
This is not a period we should say bow and go. Every part of this country is equal.
The intrigue.
There can be no one person that is bigger than the party.
Deft moves and the momentous declaration.
We didn't get any protection.
I'm not particularly against anybody.
We track and capture them all.
I don't believe in godfatherism in politics.
Follow in-depth analysis and no-holds-barred interviews.
Armed forces of the country is well capable. They need the political will.
Are they just waking up from sleep? Is there complacency?
Feel the pulse of happenings in the political arena on AIT Democracy Today. Widely acclaimed authority on politics. Monday to Friday, 7 p.m. Nigerian time.
And welcome to Kakaaki Social this Thursday morning, where we take a look at stories, at conversations, and viral moments trending across social media. My name is Chidera Izudoye. Now we'll begin with the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission that has reportedly questioned Chief Judge of the Federal High Court of Nigeria, Justice John Social, for several hours of over $160,000 allegedly found with his wife. Now, sources say the interrogation focused on the origin and purpose of the money as part of the Commission's ongoing anti-corruption investigation. Authorities are yet to release an official statement, while the judiciary has also not commented on this development. Now, let's go and see what netizens are saying concerning all of this EFCC razzmatazz. And Mr. Ajimax is saying, imagine a top judge being grilled over $160,000 while the country crumbles under corruption and injustice. This isn't just a scandal. It's a warning of how those meant to enforce the law live above it. Shame on the government that tolerates this. And we have another user who is saying, justice system in Nigeria has failed and has lost its credibility. There is no more hope for the common man in court, as it is always a matter of who knows who and also has the money to spend. And we have Toby who is saying, is he not an APC judge? If he is not, someone should advise him to join ASAP. And we have this user who says, it is really concerning. The problem is that headlines like this come out and then, boom, we don't know how the case ends. I pray they dig deep into the roots of this one. Leaders are supposed to uphold justice, especially those in the judiciary. More is expected, so much more will be the punishment. If this is true, how many others has he sent to jail for the same offense? But it is well. And then we continue where the federal government says it is considering age considerations for Nigerians' use of internet. Now, the Minister of Communications, Innovation and Digital Economy, Bosun Tijani, says this move is aimed at shielding young people from harmful online contents and digital threats. He explained that the government is exploring policy options that would promote safer internet use while still supporting digital access and innovation across Nigeria. Now, let's see what netizens are saying concerning this restriction. And Samuel says, Yes, this will make us have electricity, more schools, hospitals, and fewer children will be kidnapped from schools due to insecurity. I mean, the minister is doing his job, which is nothing. Now, Nigerians, I blame for allowing us pretend to be in America. And we have another user, Blessed Emmy says, what a country. Insecurity is ravaging the whole country. They cannot stop that. And they are here talking about age limits on the internet. Is this a country or a playground? Excuse you, this is a country. And we have one more user who says, all those 2005 children can finally leave this app for us, the grandparents. Okay, and then a Nigerian woman has taken to social media to accuse some officers of the Nigerian police force of assaulting her and a colleague while they were on their way to work. Now, according to her accounts, the officers allegedly beat them, broke her glasses, and seized her colleague's work folder, claiming they were targeted simply because they were driving a Mercedes-Benz. Now, this woman also shared photos of the officers online, calling for accountability, while authorities are yet to respond to this allegation. Let's take a look at this video and then to our reactions.
You want me? See them. You are mad. Give me my paper. You got my paper. Are you kidding me? You want me?
Collect phone.
I see phone. I'm God. See. Break the phone. You carry my phone down.
Hey, give my life now.
Give me my phone down.
Give my life now.
See, I don't get to that from there, so. You carry my phone down. You carry my phone down.
What you are doing is not good. What you are doing is not
good. You carry my phone down.
Give my life now.
You carry my phone down.
Give my life now.
See them, no plate number.
Give my life now.
See them. I'm mad. Give me my paper.
Quite a lot, but let's see what netizens are saying. And Emmanuel says, those police should be taken to the northern part of the country to fight the insecurity there. It seems they have a lot of strength for that. And we have another user, Demola, who says, let's be honest. That's how those officers always do. Most of them act the same way, but most of them are very nice and they handle some times or some things nicely. There's no one particular police that is different in any state. They all assault people due to that they know that they have no power and they are asked why they do this, and then they would always come out and clean up even if they are the ones wronged. Let's continue. And Sri says the same Nigerian police would harass you for wearing rings and looking good. So a lot of people kept on talking about the fact that why should a police officer be wearing this type of jewelry as a police officer? But let's continue and see what netizens are saying. And Senator Idris says this is completely unacceptable. The police are meant to protect citizens, not intimidate or assault them simply because of the type of car they drive. If officers are abusing their power this way, it shows a serious failure of professionalism and discipline within the system. Even after the new IGP made strong statements about professionalism and discipline within the police, it is disappointing that some officers still continue their usual way of assaulting and harassing citizens. If these allegations are true, those responsible must be investigated and held accountable because Nigerians deserve protection and respect from law enforcement, not intimidation. Let's continue in the same line. Another user says this is the same institution Shawari and the citizens are asking government to increase salaries for. The Nigerian police is another system we seriously need to worry about. And then in continuation, a lady whose video recently went viral for criticizing the transportation system in Lagos has reportedly been attacked by fellow bus passengers. Now, according to reports circulating online, the incident occurred while she was commuting earlier yesterday, when some passengers allegedly confronted and assaulted her over the comments she made in a viral video. Let's take a look at this video and then to our reactions.
Why are you holding my bag? Why are you holding my bag? Why you holding my car? Take your video. Take my video. You take the video. Take your video. I will make my video. There's no boss. I don't want me to make video. Go the video. I should go to garage. Go to leave alone. Go to leave alone. Go to garage. I don't understand. Go to garage. Force me now. Go to garage. And then make your video. I make my video. Go to make your video. I make my video. Go to garage. You cannot stop me. You cannot stop me. You don't have that. You cannot stop me. You cannot stop me. And she's telling me not to make video. Say the queue, no boss. She's not sure of this.
Don't just go for it.
Leave me alone. Leave me alone. Say the queue, there's no boss. I come there for more than 1 hour and she don't make video. She had the guts. Now she came to beat me. That she don't make video. See the queue. Why should I not make video? Why? In this queue. Why should I not make video?
I'm tempted to say women shout power because it's looking like the women are taking charge, but let's see what netizens are saying. Realistically, some people like the suffering they experience on a daily basis while trying to commute to work. Someone is making a video to share the current state of transportation in her location, yet her fellow woman is fighting her for speaking up, and people are just there watching. Okay, let's continue. Tired but not retired says, the oppressed, oppressing the oppressed. Welcome to Nigeria. Look at the people just standing there and looking. And continuation in this reaction. And Duratibi says, as a BRT commuter in Lagos for more than 4 years now, I have noticed that Nigerians adapt to hardship. And I am not even joking. Sometimes these BRT operators hide buses so the queues become massive, just so they can pack the buses with as many standing passengers as possible. And these and many more reactions. Let's take one more reaction in the same light. And Chibe says, I wonder what her video achieves. Chasing clout. Wow. A big wow. Now let's continue one more reaction. And Hawaii saying, people should have joined her to shout at the woman. They shouldn't have left her to fight the battle alone. CQ now, and nobody wants to talk. The last reaction in this story. And Ifechidere says, I want you to get 2 pepper spray cans, give one to your sister, and if anyone hits you, use it. Don't let it up. Even if you're the only one talking and other Nigerians in the same mess are shutting you up. Do not stop. Keep speaking. I think we should, if you see something, say something. Now, that's all we have for you on Kakaaki Social this Thursday morning. The conversations continue. Keep it going. Our social media platforms are displayed on the screen. And, you know, move fast, but the stories behind the trends matter even more. My name is Chidera Isidore. Thank you for watching. See you same time tomorrow.
Stories now break online. Don't miss anything from our real-time updates and exclusive content. Follow and participate in discussions on live TV studio programs to shape the narratives. Subscribe, engage, and share from AIT.live at AIT_online on X, AIT Online on Facebook, Official AIT Live on Instagram, TikTok, and Threads on YouTube. Stay connected with AIT. On air, online, on live.
Focus Nigeria. It's a huge task, but we take it on.
Where is the law? National Assembly is not doing hearing on insecurity in Nigeria. It is America that is doing hearing on insecurity in Nigeria.
Monday to Friday on Focus Nigeria, we identify the nagging issues.
So people put people in poverty deliberate misplacement of priorities and brought people on their knees to suffer.
We seek answers to the tough challenges.
And because of for the former president, yes, what I know is that he has not turned his membership card. He has not been attending your meeting.
Leave that to us to deal.
There's no shying away from the issues.
The system is held accountable. The leaders are accountable for the funds, for the resources that they manage.
No sitting on the fence.
The same thing that made you live where you are may confront you.
Focus Nigeria, 10 a.m., Monday to Friday on AIT.
People, politics, and power brings context and clarity to issues and events in governance, democracy, and development. On People, Politics, and Power, we feature people who shape the events and define the issues.
A lot of the agencies are still struggling with implementation of freedom of information.
The government should come. We need Nigeria to work.
We examine the interplay and interaction of politics with power and their impact on policies and the people.
It's about getting the system to deliver the kind of electoral outcome that people will be happy with.
People, Politics, and Power with Imoni Amarere.
Will low-performing agencies be held to account? Or will the numbers fade after the headlines?
At 1 p.m. every Monday and Friday on AIT.
All right, thank you so much for staying with us. It's still Kakaaki, the African Voice, going into our second conversation. This time we'll be talking politics, particularly as it concerns the People's Democratic Party. And for those who are thinking that the PDP is heading for oblivion, it will seem like they should have a rethink, because the Kabiru Turaki faction of the party has moved to reconcile all aggrieved members of the party to put an end to all disputes, to enable the PDP actually field candidates in the 2027 general elections. Is everyone from the PDP in agreement to this? These are some of the issues we'll be looking at, and how would the outcome of this emergency expanded meeting of the party go to reconcile the feuding members and ensure that the PDP comes back on stage as a strong opposition party in Nigeria. These are the issues we'll be finding out now from our guests who are joining us now. We have Austin Nwachukwu right here in the studio, former member, Nigerian House of Representatives. Thank you so much for coming on the program. We also have Mazi Nnamdi Irebu, who is a PDP chieftain, joining us here on the program. Mazi, you're welcome. Okay, we're expecting Tajuddin Yusuf, a member of the Nigerian House of Representatives, to join us. I don't know if he's there virtually now, or we should hang on until we have him join us. Okay, he's not there, so let's move on.
All right, thank you for joining us. PDP, EDAPC, LPP, DAC, and all that. Finally, both factions are saying that there is a need for us to come together so that at least, because we risk being deregistered and also want to be able to field a candidate for the next election, 2027. How would you say this rally for call for reconciliations meets you? Mazi.
Thank you. It is PDP. The other names are all this thing that I heard from you. I don't know about it. I'm here for PDP. And we don't risk being deregistered. We only the family who have had squabbles within that, especially an umpire involved or in charge of what we are supposed to be doing, which is politicking. 2027 is around the corner, and the umpire has reeled out or has blown the whistle already, and the timetable is there. So beyond those who have before now contested on the platform of PDP and have become what they have become, there are new people who desire to also contest, and the platform PDP is their choice of political platform, and there is a need therefore for us to put the interests of the Nigerian people forward and ensure that the PDP is on the ballot. From my end, it reminds me of the biblical story, the Solomon story, about those two women who were dragging their child, a particular child, and one insisted that, oh, it's mine, and the other one insisted that it's mine, and Solomon offered that, okay, why don't we slaughter the child into two, you take half, and I take half, and the other one take half. And the real mother of the child said, no, please, don't slaughter, let this woman have the child. When the child grows up, the child will know truly, right? So in this case, the Katie Turaki SAN leadership, and indeed the board of trustees of the party haven't decided to wait in. The Board of Trustees have come in to say, okay, why don't we look at coming back to the negotiation table and reconcile possibly where necessary and all of that. And that's where we found ourselves. The appellate court, of course, ruled and left the party more like headless, because the ruling of the appeal court, where it didn't recognize the Ibadan Convention, November 15th to 16th Ibadan Convention 2025, and also ruled that the Ajibade SN, who is the former national legal advisor of the party, the court also upheld that the suspension of Ajibade stands. Therefore, the party has no leadership at the moment, because what it means is that whatever caretaker committee that was set up by their group does not exist, because in law you can't place something on nothing. Because at the time they set up that committee, they were already on suspension and all of that. So at the moment, therefore, the party needed to survive, and that's why the conscience of the party, that is the Board of Trustees and the elders, the founding fathers of the party, decided to begin call for all parties to get on board, get to the table, and possibly negotiate. So it's now left for Nigerians to see whether truly all who claim to be members of the party, especially from their end, show that they are truly members of the party and that they mean well for the party. Because it takes two to tango.
Tango, yes, yeah, that's true. I never knew you were a member of the PDP.
I have been.
Really? Age of 10? From
my home,
really?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm hearing that for the first time. I see you with your shoes and all of that, so I never knew you were a Kakaaki member of any political party, really. All right, so it's good to have you.
I said not to sit. I can't keep watching while our country is going adrift.
Okay, you're not on the fence. So that means you belong to one of the factions of the party.
There's no faction in PDP.
Okay.
That's my view.
That's your view.
There's no faction.
All right, let's look at what the blueprint led out as its headline this morning. Wike Turaki led PDP factions push for reconciliation. Now, this means to me that the two factions are pushing together, going by this headline. But there are some riders who will embrace window provided by ruling on about the convention, that's Turaki-led BOT, and then we will negotiate from position of strength, FCT minister. So before I go to Austin, I want to ask you, Turaki-led BOT, what is the window provided by the ruling on a battle that the Turaki-led PDP wants to, embrace?
What is the window?
Yes. I said, goes on this paper, I said there's a window that is provided in the ruling of the appeal court that they want to embrace while looking for this reconciliation, while the Wike in this paper is saying we will negotiate from position of strength.
The KT Turaki leadership clearly has stated it's going to the Supreme Court. They've stated that. But the Board of Trustees...
So while reconciling, they will still be pursuing the case?
The Board of Trustees are the initiators of this reconciliation. It's not KT Turaki. The Board of Trustees of the party, led by the former Senate President, Dr.
Is the one that's pushing for this.
Right. They are the ones that have stepped in with the elders of the party to say, enough. Can we consider the new champions? Because people have left in droves, but there are new champions that will emerge from the PDP.
All right.
For instance, myself, I will be running for House of Reps under the People's Democratic Party.
Really?
And there are so many people like that. So should the party not be on the ballot, how do you now get an opportunity to serve
you're not
our
even
country?
considering defecting at all.
No.
So we'll come back to that. So let's get Austin's point of view on this. Are you in agreement with the rallying calls for reconciliation?
Thank you very much. And I'm happy to be here. First and foremost, what name did you call this man here? What name did you call him?
This man, no.
Sorry, what did you call the gentleman here? What name did you call him? Let me hear the name you called before I go ahead.
He's okay with whatever.
No, the name. There's a name you called. I want to know.
His name is Mazen Namdi Rebu. And he's a PDP chieftain. So you should just answer our question, please.
I'll leave that. Dixon Irebu, as is well known to some of us, is neither a member of my party I am the PDP chairman Imo State, where he comes from. His name is not on my register in the state as a member of the party. What I can say for sure...
I didn't know I was called here to be discussed.
No.
Hold on. I need to address that. I need to address that because when somebody come and say...
That's not even the focus of our conversation.
He's the chief of the party.
That's not the focus of our conversation. Austin, can we just focus on the conversation? Austin, let's look at the
party.
My question, Austin.
You want me to accept that?
Austin, my question to you is, are you in agreement with calls for reconciliation?
I am saying that he, first and foremost, is not
we don't want to come here and fight over this matter.
He is not a member of the PDP.
Austin, can you answer my question, please?
He's our guest.
He's not a member. Now,
please.
let me go ahead. Let me go ahead.
No, it's okay. No, it's our business to respond.
When he was talking, I never said a word. So allow me to speak.
But you're not responding to my question.
When I finish, my friend, you are in the studio. You are in the studio. Behave like a gentleman.
No, we're not talking people.
What I'm saying.
I will end this interview.
What I'm saying.
If you people do not listen to me now,
what I'm saying. Please allow me to speak. Allow me to speak.
I am the moderator in this program. We are moderating, and that's what we're doing.
Okay.
Austin, I'm asking. The question I posed to you is about the reconciliation that the party.
But you ask him a question if he's a member of the party.
Okay.
And I want to straighten that because
he has answered that he's a member of your party.
Because
he did not ask you the same question.
When a non-member of my party come to speak about my party, I take such a second to that. That's the point I'm making.
Okay.
I'm a party chairman.
Okay.
So I have yes.
We'll come to you. You have even taken your time.
No. I have not even responded. He said here that the court.
Okay.
He said here that the court upheld the suspension of Senatorial and the legal advisor.
Nigerian House of Representatives and is joining us virtually now. Thank you so much, Honorable, and welcome to the program. Please check your device if it is muted so you can unmute it. We can't hear you from here. Okay, if you can hear us, let's find out from you as a member of the political party whether you're in agreement with the rallying calls for reconciliation that the BOT has actually instituted. Okay, while he's trying to sort that out, Austin, can you now respond to my question?
I will be very calm and I will go straight to the point, but I would not want him to interject when I'm talking.
Please don't speak about him.
So that I would make my point.
Issues, not
First and foremost, he said there is no leadership in the PDP. I don't know where he got this strange intelligence.
You are not responding to him,
Mr. I'm trying to see. When issues are canvassed on public, I need to clarify them.
By the
I need to clarify them.
You can argue as much as you want that there are no factions in the PDP,
yes,
but we know the reality and the experience.
Yes, because
we are looking at reconciliation, what the PDP is saying, because after the appeal court judgment,
what are you reconciling?
Please hold on for me. After the ruling by the appeal court, the Turaki faction had said they would go ahead to the Supreme Court until they get...
They can go to the Supreme Court. No problem with that.
But your faction, led by the Minister of the FCT...
It's not the faction, please. Not the faction.
You can say that they have, from the first reaction, called for reconciliation. And that is what we think now, that both parties have said, this is the way forward, so that you don't risk the registration, because you have to be able to field a candidate.
Let me now correct that impression, sir. Let me correct the impression.
And not to him, please.
They are the people who should seek for reconciliation.
If you say they are the people and
because we are covered by the law. The judgment of the appeal court gives us the implicit legal stand. Yes, I mean the group. The group. I went to court. I'm one of the plaintiffs that went to court. In this suit, we had a problem, and we were pained by the issue of the cluelessness of the former national chairman Damagu, and all the impunity that they were doing in the party. I went to court, and the court have agreed with me that what we canvass is correct. So the point here now is it me that is on top, or they that are at the bottom that will seek for the reconciliation? They should come to the top and ask for the reconciliation if they want. That's the point I'm making.
But that's what they are doing already.
So
they have asked for
let them come up properly. If they are looking for reconciliation, they have the leeway to come, not going by the corner, I want to reconcile. And in the another breath, you are going to constitute a board of trustees. That's illegal. All these are the point I'm making. If you say you want to reconcile, come openly. If you want to go to equity, you must come with clean hands. Senator Wabara have been expelled by the party, and they're blaming him and parading him as a BOT member. How do you want us to be free and fair that these guys meant business? When the Abia State chapter of PDP expelled Senator Wabara, who went to the government house of Abia to raise the hand of a governor of a Labour Party, say your second term is guaranteed. And such people, such character are people that you think we should be dining with.
But the leadership of your faction is clearly also campaigning for the parties.
So what? That what?
It's raising the president's hand up. Who is not a member of your party?
Who?
I mean, Wike.
Listen. Wike is not a chieftain of the, it's not a part, it's not an administrative member of the party.
But do you agree he's an essential
Wike
party
is
figure?
not a national chairman, BOT member. He's an individual. He has right to express.
I believe you can hear us now.
Some individuals are more individuals.
Wike has right to support anybody who wants to support.
Austin will
just like the Abia PDP
like me now,
chairman.
I'm a PDP chairman.
Honorable Austin
I go and raise someone.
Yusuf Tajuddin, a member of Nigerian House of Representatives. Okay, we can see you now. I believe you can hear me now.
Very well, I can hear you clearly, but I'm a former member.
Okay, former member of the House. Yeah. Oh, okay, yeah. It's good to have you on the show. But you're a member of the PDP. So are you in agreement with the rallying support and call for reconciliation at this time, after all the troubles of the PDP?
Before we got to this level, I'd always advocated reconciliation. We made series of efforts before the Ibadan Convention. Abba Moru, Honorable Chinda, Bukola Saraki, Governor of Osun State, led a team that went through with some BOT member appealing that we should not go ahead with that convention, that we should not flout the court rule, that if we will come back to bite us. I made reference to Port Harcourt in 2016. We gathered in Port Harcourt to have a convention. We realized there was a court judgment that will impede on that, and whatever we do will be subject to litigation. We paused. We didn't go ahead with it. But some individuals who, I don't know, maybe they are not students of history, unnecessary ego, insisted that they will go to court. And I remember then, that this man you guys heard you mention the rest of Wiki. He said something. He said, when you go ahead with this now and I go to court, we win. You say we have bribed the court. But look at it. There is nowhere in the world you can flout series of federal high court judgments and go and procure a state high court injunction to go ahead with this. So we are ready. PDP needs reconciliation. Those who want to run to election, it's so unfortunate for the same district. However, what I'm trying to the point I'm trying to lay is that we should be here. If our leaders are sincere in reconciliation, okay now, you want reconciliation, you reject judgment. In that same publication, you reject the judgment, you are going to appeal, and you want reconciliation. How? Would the other party say, okay, we reject the judgment? No. They have victory. Who has victory will not want to throw it away. So if you want reconciliation, pause all things, and we all of us know the appropriate quarter to reach out to. PDP has gone through worse scenarios than this. But what we have now, I'm sorry, unfortunately, we have men who are not students of history, or they forget, or memory failed them. And I'm going to say this. The set of governors we have now, to my aim, are the worst set of governors PDP has ever produced. We are where we are because of lack of leadership from them. They couldn't step up their game and realize that politics is about give and take. You can't always have it. That's my submission. I'm interested and I'm in support of reconciliation, but you must do reconciliation genuinely, sincerely. Come and tell us sincerely what you want, and let us sit down and midwife a very, very, very good convention that will produce leadership that will be acceptable to all. That's my take.
Well, thank you very much, former member, Nigerian House of Representatives. Looks like we would have needed some more time to look at this, but we'd like to thank everyone for coming. Yes, we have to run. So thank you, Tajuddin Yusuf, former member, Nigerian House of Representatives, Austin Nwachukwu, former member, Nigerian House of Representatives 2, and Mazi Nnamdi Iruegbu, PDP chieftain.
I was not even given a chance to defend myself where I'm disparaged right here in my presence. That's not fair, but it's okay.
Thank you for having us.
All right, it's time to bring you State of Human Rights. This is an ongoing conversation, and we will definitely revisit this topic, State of Human Rights now.
Welcome to State of Human Rights on Kakaaki, the African Voice. I am Omoyo Ogbaki. The International Women's Day 2026 comes with a strong global theme of rights, justice, and action for all women and girls. And today we will be speaking with the Executive Secretary of the National Human Rights Commission, who's going to give us more light on the National Human Rights Mandate and its fight and justice for all women and girls in Nigeria. Stay tuned. Welcome back. I'm now speaking with the Executive Secretary of the National Human Rights Commission, Dr. Tony Ojukwu. Welcome to the segment.
Thank you.
And happy International Women's Day.
Yeah.
So today we're talking about the International Women's Day and its very strong global theme, which is rights, justice, and action for all women and girls. How does this resonate with the mandate of the National Human Rights Commission?
Well, you know, women's rights are human rights, and a lot of people forget that. So for the National Human Rights Commission, the protection of women's rights is priority. And for us here, this administration, one of the first things we did was to create a Women and Children's Department. And that shows that with that singular action, we brought the protection of women's rights to the fore, to make sure that nothing escapes to the basket. And we are happy about the commemoration of the International Women's Day. And the Commission has championed women's rights in this country. We were able to, during the COVID period, we were able to lead in that national advocacy to make sexual and gender-based violence an issue of national emergency. And from that time till now, advocacy and sensitization on sexual and gender-based violence has been taken to the highest levels in this country. And right now, there is a huge movement geared towards elevating women's rights to increase the special, for the legislation for special seats for women in parliament and elective offices.
Yes, I was going to even come to that because we know that despite promises, women's representation in politics and access to finance remain very low. So from the human rights perspective, what structural barriers must be dismantled for Nigeria to achieve the 35% affirmative action target in governance?
It's the issue of discrimination terminology in the Constitution. I remember when we were campaigning for this in 2022, 2023, the parliamentarians in that regime said that to provide special seats for women, to give that kind of concession to women would mean a discrimination against the men, which of course is funny because all over the world, everybody understands what affirmative action is. You know, it's the deliberate steps taken to make sure that marginalized groups are brought a little bit up to fill the gap. So that kind of structural problem, you know, which is also helping in the patriarchy issues, the social construct about women's rights, we think that the constitutional amendment should clearly state that a policy like this, which is understood since after Beijing conference, that countries should take positive steps to make sure that marginalized groups like women, that if they are giving some preferences to prop up their participation, that is not part of discrimination. But like as it is defined in our constitution now, so that's a structural problem. Then the other issues are our harmful traditional practices in Nigeria, which tend to lower the status of women, where women's rights seem to be made secondary because in some traditions.
Still see men as the upper hand.
As the upper hand. So that is something we can deal with sensitization and awareness creation. So, it's a high time. We'll call on National Assembly, please. We don't need to debate too much over this. It is something we need as a very important factor to improve our development in this country, to make sure that women are around the table when things concerning them and concerning everybody is discussed, and we can take a step, do some preferential elective selections and offices for women to make sure that both at the executive level, at the legislative level, and at the judicial level, that women are represented.
So now you're talking about the Beijing 30 Plus review. Looking ahead to 2030 SDG deadline and the Beijing 30 Plus review, what are the Commission's flagship priorities for women's rights in Nigeria, and how can the ordinary citizen and the media support these efforts?
Now, what we have done is to try to lay the foundation for increased access to justice, so that women can feel unhindered to be able to actualize their right. Because right now, most women who try are struck down either by discrimination or stigmatization and all these kind of harmful practices. But when you improve access to justice for them, you increase their ability to access their rights. So for us, we have institutionalized a toll-free number, which gives access to any woman anywhere that has a telephone to be able to lodge a complaint. Now we have had some collaborations with some civil society groups to set up help desks, to set up supportive civil society organizations at the grassroots level, so that any woman who has any challenge, we have a referral pathway through which we can help the woman to get help thereby. And that help can come in the area of access to health, access to legal services, access to education, access to housing, access to shelter, and so on and so forth. Because we are conscious of the fact that most of the women involved are even living in the rural communities.
Yes. So if you could speak directly to young Nigerian girls who are watching and aspiring to leadership, what words of hope and action would you leave with them on this International Women's Day?
Well, our message to Nigerian women is that they have been patient all the while. There is light at the end of the tunnel. I have the firm belief that with the efforts they have put in, with the efforts of the Commission, the efforts of civil society already, the government is poised now to help them to realize the affirmative action. And I believe that this National Assembly, under the leadership of the Senate President and the Speaker of the House of Representatives, and the executive arm of government under the leadership of the President, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, they are poised to making sure that these special seat bill will pass through Parliament, that the ongoing constitutional amendments will include removing any barriers that affect women's rights, and then the next set of government in Nigeria will be where women will have their rightful place.
Women inclusive.
Women inclusive at legislature, at executive, and at judiciary.
Thank you. Thank you so much for coming on the segment.
Thank you.
And that has been the Executive Secretary of the National Human Rights Commission, Dr. Tony Ojukwu. And that's the size of the package this week on State of Human Rights on Kakaaki, the African Voice. Until next time, I am Omoyo Ogbaki.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much, Omo, for that. Issues of human rights can never be over-discussed. Everyone, that's the size of a package this morning. 3 hours well used in our judgment. Thank you for being a part of it. I'm Rena Obozegerili on the space of social media. We'll see you again tomorrow.
Call you Omo, it's my name. Bye for now.